Klaus, you gave us a bit of a vision this morning in your statement, in your opening keynote at the SAP for Utilities International Conference here in Munich. Can you give us a quick synopsis of that 2020 vision you espoused?
I can, yeah. Well, one of the things that I wanted to make clear is that the utilities are no longer working alone on implementing advanced metering infrastructures and a smart grid. They are actually supported by a lot of other industries. And it's not only professional services, so the SAPs and IBMs, but it's also high-tech consumer products, retail, engineering, construction and operations, public service. There's quite some industries now involved. And they are either directly supporting the utilities to build up that infrastructure, that delivery infrastructure, or they are helping customers to become more energy efficient. And the important thing that I wanted to mention this morning is when you look to the processes, to the business processes, and of course the customer is very much concerned about the commercial business processes or its money, then they go all the way from let's say, the call center or the customer self-services down to an appliance like his air conditioning system in one circle. Right. And that all has to function in almost real time. And so I wanted to give, and I did this morning, gave one example, which is the way how you can influence the thermostat, the control, the programmable control of your air conditioning system. And I pointed out the 4 ways now. One is a traditional one. You move that thermostat from 20 to 22 degrees. And what happens for 2 hours? The system just switches off. Or, in summer. You do it via internet. And you have a system at home that addresses the programmable control, and you steer that system over an internet self-service provided by someone. Right. Yeah. The other way is to use the AMI channel that the utilities now provide. You use a customer self-service, and you know that customer, or it's actually the demand response operator doing it for you, and doing it not only for your home but for 10,000 homes. And finally, the 4th method is there's a local energy management system, almost like a burglar alarm system. And that optimizes energy consumption of all the appliances. It knows all the appliances in your home. It knows where it is, how much they consume, whether they need to consume now because you're not at home or you are at home. And they can also change the control the programmable thermostat. And all that technology is in place. We just need to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this 4th one you talked about, this doesn't really exist anywhere yet, does it?
It does, on a one-off, on a laboratory version. Of course, you know all these things. You know that with radiation, you can, with infrared, you can manipulate the volume of your TV. Yeah. You know how that works. Yeah. So, and of course, there are already home energy management systems in place, just in very, very few homes. That, for example, can turn down the blinds in the evening and turn them up in the morning. And they could also, when you leave your home and you close the key, make sure that nothing is on standby. All is switched off. I think we are still in the beginning, but is it really a technical problem? No, it's only a scalability problem, not a technical problem. And of course, rolling it out to millions of households and then steering it, just the example, demand response operator making 300,000 air conditioning systems turn the thermostat from 20 to 24 degrees. Do we have GPS available that can do that in 1 minute for 300,000 homes? Nobody has ever tested that. Yeah. Yeah. So here are the challenges.
So you reckon there will be companies out there who will be selling, as you called, and as the RMI have called, megawatts back to the utility companies by shutting down or reducing the
Yes.
thermostat on,
Yes.
On my air conditioning and on my neighborhood's air conditioning units.
Yes, and I think in deregulated market, those service providers could be the utilities itself.
Right.
Yeah, so when I say there's other industries supporting it, they might turn also into a competitor. Now, the only thing they cannot take away from utilities is the grid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything else can be taken away. You know, Shell, oil and gas, is selling energy. Yeah. Centrica was originally called British Gas, now are selling electricity. And by the way, they are going to sell much more. And I would almost bet they will sell appliances one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, and sell energy efficiency services. Every smart retailer will go into that business because somehow they have to compensate the minus revenue that they will experience by customers saving energy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, and this is something else I've talked about before in conferences, and I'm interested to hear your thinking on it as well. I foresee situations where utility companies start looking at my energy profile, my energy fingerprint, and they start going, obviously not an analyst poring over it like that, but in automated fashion, and they'll start looking for inconsistencies in it, whereby maybe the compressor in my fridge is on the way out or something like that, and then they send me an automated offer saying, Tom, your compressor is dying, your fridge is about to go, it's very inefficient now. If you buy this other one from our partner company, through us we will bill you at so many euro per month, and you'll save Y euro per month off your bill, and everyone's happy.
That's exactly what will happen now. It will be the energy management providers, either the local ones, the automated ones with a service provider over internet line, or the Googles or Microsofts. Yeah. I do believe on the long run, the first ones will have an advantage because they have all the information. They never need to ask for permission because they do not duplicate the data. They do not duplicate. They get the meter readings from the meter. And because they use it in the customer's home, there's no permission they need to ask. The customer can use that. Yeah. If the customer, if Google wants to have it or Microsoft wants to have it, the customer has to give permission, which he will probably do. Yeah. Just the customer, and we know that we are customers, is by nature lazy. And he doesn't just do it. And then, by the way, he also needs prices. Where does Microsoft and Google get prices from? From all retailers. Well, you can ask them. They probably send it to you, but it's work.
Yeah.
And how do you finance that work? Because they don't want to charge the consumer. So there's a little bit of a challenge here, but that's why I think energy optimization in one home could be done, probably be done by the local energy management system. Now the utility, of course, has another option, to slice and dice the consumption values of all customers. For example, have the average load profile of all customers using one rate or being in a certain area. And the nice thing is, as long as this serves reduction of carbon dioxide, there's probably nobody saying you are not allowed to do that. Right. For some data security reasons. Yeah. You need to be very careful. Yeah, you're not allowed to misuse the data, but when it really targets this objective, then you would get access to that data, the utility, maybe also a demand response operator, and then this data is just incredibly valuable, because with that data they can almost forecast what happens in the next months. Yeah. And they can do so many things with it, just they need to learn how to handle terabytes of metering data in analytics, you know, and current software just falls apart. It can't handle it. So we need to be very smart, very, very smart to handle these big volumes of data in analytics. We're working on it. We have a special research and development project that works on it.
Klaus, has been fantastic. Thanks a million for coming on the show.
Oh, it was a pleasure to talk to you as always. I apologize for my voice. It's really dying now. Yeah.